It's finally happening. After much speculation and a whole lot of Photoshop, Andre Drummond is coming to the Lakers. And although this is an absolute win for the Lakers, there are some red flags with Drummond that you need to be aware of. Now, don't get me wrong. The bottom line is this was an absolute no-brainer for the Lakers. They had to do this deal. Drummond by far is the most talented player in the buyout market. The guy is only 27 years old, still in his prime. And most importantly, he provides a skill set that the Lakers desperately need. He's not the most athletic guy, but he's more athletic than Marc Gasol. He's not the tallest guy, but he's taller than Montrezl Harrell. So he can play more of that traditional center role for the Lakers. He has the tools to be the rim protector that the Lakers have been lacking this season. He can also be a lob threat that the Lakers were missing aside from that short stint with Damian Jones. Drummond is currently averaging 13.5 rebounds, 1.2 blocks, and 1.6 steals. All areas in which the Lakers could use help. So this was definitely the right move to make, and at an absolute bargain. With that said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with Andre Drummond. There's a reason he was in the buyout market in the first place. When anyone is bought out, that basically means that a team would rather pay you to play somewhere else than have you on the roster. That should be a major red flag, especially with his contract. He had about $30 million left on his contract for this year. Most teams would try to trade that type of contract instead of outright buying it out. And in fact, the Cavs did try to trade him. But nobody was willing to trade for Andre Drummond, which is another red flag. So they decided to buy him out and save themselves about $800,000, which to you and me is a lot of money. But when you compare it to the $30 million he was owed, it was essentially negligible. But again, to the Cavs, that $800,000 is worth more than having Drummond on the team. Ask any Cavs fan. I know they're hard to find these days, but ask them, and they'll tell you why Drummond was bought out. Basically, he has Dwight Howard vibes. And I'm talking about Dwight's first stint with the Lakers, not championship Dwight. Remember when Kobe recruited Dwight and basically told him he would be the Tyson Chandler of the team? Anchoring the defense, getting rebounds, scoring off the pick and roll. And remember how Howard didn't like that and wanted the keys to the franchise? He wanted to go outside of his game and play in the post. He wanted the offense to run through him. Well, that's pretty much Andre Drummond in Cleveland. He wanted to play in the post, shoot threes, basically play out of his game and not do what he does best. And the Cavs actually allowed him to do that for a while. That is until Jared Allen came into the picture. Then Drummond got less playing time, he became less engaged, he stopped playing hard and doing what he was good at. He became unplayable. And I understand that the situation was less than ideal for him. And for a lot of players, it's difficult to give it your all when you don't like the situation you're in. I get it. Nobody wants to play in Cleveland. Even LeBron, who grew up there, the kid from Akron, even he had to get his ass out of there. But all those skills that I mentioned Drummond was good at, that he could bring to the Lakers, he just wasn't doing that in Cleveland. Which is good for us because that led him to LA. But anytime a guy shows a poor work ethic and shows that he's not really into doing his job, that's always going to be a red flag no matter the circumstance. This guy can put up big stats. He's had multiple 20-20 games. But a lot of his stats are just that. Stats. Empty stats that don't actually contribute to the outcome of the game. Most of the teams he's been on have been losing teams, despite him averaging monster numbers. When you look at his team's stats, They are usually below average or even at the bottom of the league when it comes to rebounding. So his rebounding doesn't actually help the overall team rebounding. And that tells me that he's just getting rebounds to get rebounds. Stat padding, almost like Russell Westbrook. He's chasing rebounds and he's taking them away from his teammates. Now we all know that he has the ability to be great and do all the things the Lakers need. But will he be willing to do that? Will he be willing to play hard on defense, make the right rotation, protect the rim, get physical? I do believe this change of scenery will motivate him to play hard and do what he does best. He now has a chance to play for a championship, and he more than likely will have a starting spot and have significant playing time. He's also never played with guys like LeBron and AD, which will make his job a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. He will be entering free agency next season and will be looking to get paid. The Lakers won't likely be able to pay him what other teams can, and he'll most likely just be a rental for them. But in order to get that huge payday, he has to resurrect his career and prove that he can still play and is still an all-star. Because of those factors, I think Drummond will be great for the Lakers. But it's not a guarantee. We've already seen him mope around and not do what is expected of him. How will he respond when he gets benched because the Lakers go small? How will he respond when he's put into a specific role and not allowed to do all the things he wants to do? How will he play under the bright lights of Hollywood? How will he deal with Laker fans criticizing every single mistake he makes? He's never played on a team with this caliber and with these high expectations. Will he step up, or will he check out like he did on less talented teams with no expectations? We'll just have to wait and see and hope for the best. But I believe this is the perfect situation for him. And with the guidance of Frank Vogel and teammates like LeBron and AD, I believe he will be successful. And I believe he will be a key part of the Lakers' championship run.